And thanks for joining us for CBN News Today. I'm Ephraim Graham. Potential Republican presidential candidates gathered in Washington this weekend to make their case for the country's future. It was the annual Faith and Freedom Coalition event, an opportunity for politicians to make their case in front of a very important voting bloc, evangelical Christians. CBN's chief political correspondent David Brody was there.
One by one, they came to this stage, weaving a message of faith and freedom. Some of them were possible presidential candidates, like New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, but others, like the new majority leader of the House of Representatives, Kevin McCarthy, well, he came here preaching a message of conservative unity, despite the disputes over the direction of the party between the Tea Party and establishment conservatives. Backstage in our exclusive interview, McCarthy played up the harmony theme.
First and foremost, I want to make sure that we're united, but we want to change the country. We want to change the direction. I want to restructure government itself. These agencies have become too large. They need to be streamlined. There's too much duplication in it as well. We want to unshackle what has held us back for so long.
McCarthy and GOP leadership in both the House and Senate will also have to confront a divide on what to do in Iraq. Some lawmakers, like Florida Senator Marco Rubio, feel like decisive military action needs to be taken. Other Republicans aren't so sure they want to get involved in this fight. Rubio told us that's a mistake.
They're wrong. We're going to have to deal with ISIS. And I think the choice for us is not whether we're going to have to deal with them. The choice is, do we deal with them now while they're still kind of scattered, or do we deal with them in 10 years or 5 years when they control a piece of land, they have their own country, and they use it to plan and carry out attacks to kill Americans here and around the world?
Rubio will surely play up his hawkish views if he runs for president. As for Kentucky Senator Rand Paul, he's also thinking about running for president. He came here touting his pro-life credentials, complete with a video before his introduction. He's a bit on the defensive after he recently said how Republicans might need to agree to disagree on social issues.
I don't want to change our platform. We need to be the pro-life party, the pro-traditional marriage party. But can we accept some people who don't agree with some of those issues in the party? I think if we are not so strident to push people away, maybe having some people in the party who don't all agree with us, maybe we'll have a chance to persuade them, and we'll be a bigger party.
One item all these speakers agree upon is that religious liberty is under attack, whether through Obamacare here at home or abroad, where Christians are being persecuted for their faith. This crowd also agrees that they don't want to see a Hillary Clinton presidency. Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann told us that would be a nightmare.
She will be Barack Obama's third and fourth term of fundamentally transforming the United States of America away from the constitutional principles that the founders bled and died to give us.
It is those founders' principles that the 1,000 plus people in this room are fighting for. The goal for them now is to mobilize other voters of faith to make a difference at the ballot box. The polling shows that when evangelical Christians show up, they can make the difference. David Brody, CBN News, Washington.
A transgendered priest delivered Sunday's message at Washington's National Cathedral. It is a first for the church, which is celebrating LGBT Pride Month. Reverend Cameron Partridge is the Episcopal chaplain at Boston University, and at Sunday's service, he recalled being an openly gay woman 13 years ago before choosing a male identity. The first openly gay Episcopal Bishop, Gene Robinson, presided at the service. The church's dean hopes Partridge's appearance will send a message of support for transgendered people. Secretary of State John Kerry is in Iraq as the country spirals further into violence. The Obama administration's hopes high-level talks with the country's ethnic and religious faction leaders can help unite Iraq and end the bloodshed. But outside those negotiation rooms, parts of Iraq continue to fall as ISIS fighters gain more ground. Here's the story. At least 70% of Anbar province is now under the control of militants from ISIS. The jihadist group is on a mission to create an Islamic State across Sunni areas of Iraq and Syria. Gaining ground in 4 new towns over the weekend, ISIS continues to overpower a weak Iraqi army. Security officials say Iraqi forces have now withdrawn from Haditha, which could put Iraq's power grid at risk. The Obama administration believes that Iraqi's faction leaders need to come together to stop ISIS from taking any more territory. A message U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry is sharing today with Iraqi Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki.
This is a critical moment where together we must urge Iraq's leaders to rise above sectarian motivations.
In the meantime, the U.S. is sending 300 military advisors, but Iraq says what they need are American airstrikes.
We have an agreement which say whenever the new Iraqi democratic government is threatened, America is ready to help.
Many Republican lawmakers also want President Obama to order an air assault.
I think that we should cut off ISIS's access to their command and control structure in Syria. And I think primarily that involves air power.
Be realistic about the nature of the threat. When we're arguing over 300 advisors, when the request had been for 20,000 in order to do the job right, I'm not sure we've really addressed the problem.
But the Obama administration says the Iraqi leaders must start working together before any kind of military solution can be effective. And this week, Kerry also plans to discuss possible oil disruptions from the Iraqi conflict. The country's largest oil refinery has been turned into a battlefield, raising fears the global oil supply could be hurt. Relations between the United States and Egypt are back on course. Before heading to Iraq, Secretary of State John Kerry spent the weekend working with Egypt's new leaders in Cairo. Gary Lane is in Egypt and has the story.
It was the highest level meeting since President al-Sisi's election and inauguration last month. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry met with Egypt's new president and foreign minister and pledged to restore $1,650 million in U.S. military aid. The aid was withheld after the Egyptian army ousted Mohamed Morsi and the Muslim Brotherhood from power last summer. Kerry expressed confidence the Egyptian president will implement democratic reforms.
He gave me a very strong sense of his commitment to make certain that the process he has put in place, a reevaluation of human rights legislation, a reevaluation of the judicial process, and other choices that are available are very much on his mind. And that he's only been in office for 10 days.
Kerry's visit comes at a good time. Egypt is more stable now in the post-Morsi, post-Brotherhood era. They have a new constitution, and still to come are the parliamentary elections. With thousands of Muslim Brotherhood members in jail and the group outlawed, organized attacks against Christians have lessened. And just this past weekend, an Egyptian court sentenced 180 Muslim Brotherhood members to death for killing a policeman and a civilian during an attack on police headquarters last August. 500 other Brotherhood members were acquitted. Also of concern to the United States, Egypt's imprisonment of 3 Al Jazeera journalists. The United States is still pressing for leniency and the inclusion of the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt's future. But despite issues of disagreement, Kerry took the first step to bring the relationship back on track.
Obviously, this is a critical moment of transition in Egypt with enormous challenges. The United States is very interested in working closely with President al-Sisi and his cabinet and Egypt in order to help make this transition as rapidly and smoothly as possible.
Gary Lane, CBN News, Cairo.
Israeli jets struck 9 targets inside Syria overnight in response to a cross-border mortar attack that killed an Israeli teenager. Meanwhile, Israel continued its search for 3 Israeli teens kidnapped by Hamas. CBN News Middle East correspondent Julie Stahl has that story.
Teenager Mohamed Karaka became the first Israeli casualty in the Syrian civil war. Mohamed had accompanied his father, a contractor, to work on Israel's security fence in the Golan Heights. It's the 3rd cross-border mortar attack this month. Israeli tanks immediately returned fire at Syrian army positions. Just across the border from the Golan Heights, pro-Assad troops are battling rebel forces. Israel says it's holding the government of Syrian President Bashar Assad responsible for the mortar attack. Some analysts say the attack could represent a serious escalation from the pro-Assad camp. Meanwhile, Israeli troops are continuing their intensive search for the 3 teenagers across Judea and Samaria, the West Bank. The 3 were waiting for a ride at a bus stop on their way home from school when they were abducted. The mother of Naftali Frankel, who holds dual American-Israeli citizenship, says it's been a trying time.
It's hard to breathe, but we're doing it. We try not to think of the details of what Naftali might be going through, but to hope and be very, very optimistic that we'll see him soon.
We're doing everything in our power to get them back safely to their homes. We don't like challenges. Israel is the most challenged nation on earth.
Those challenges may be increasing. One Israeli paper quoted unnamed security sources saying that Israel may soon be facing battles on 3 fronts: Gaza, Judea and Samaria, and now Syria. Julie Stahl, CBN News, Jerusalem.
In Malaysia, the nation's top court is upholding a government ban forbidding non-Muslims from using the term Allah to refer to God. The Roman Catholic Church appealed the government's ban, arguing it fails to consider the rights of minorities and confines the freedom of worship. But the court argues if other faiths use the same term, it could confuse Muslims, potentially leading them to convert to other faiths. Human Rights Watch says the government's decision reflects how far and fast religious tolerance is falling in Malaysia. U.S. World Cup soccer hopes are still alive in Brazil, even after a last-second disappointment in last night's showdown with Portugal. After the first half, the U.S. was down 1-0, but an amazing strike by Jermaine Jones tied the game up for the U.S. Then, in the 81st minute, Clint Dempsey scored to put the U.S. ahead. It looked like the U.S. was heading toward a guaranteed spot in the next round of 16 teams, but with just seconds left in the game, Portugal tied the game with a diving header. The U.S., though, can still advance to the upcoming knockout round if they beat or tie Germany Thursday. Still to come, see how technology is speeding up Bible translation in areas so remote they're not even on the map.
Pat Boone here with a word about bank safety. Do you think your money is safe in the bank? Don't bank on it. A generation ago, bank accounts felt secure and they paid interest. This encouraged the virtue of thrift and saving. But today, bank accounts pay virtually nothing, and they've shifted from low risk to high risk. For example, did you know your money deposited in most U.S. banks could be subject to limited withdrawal and even confiscation? Oh, yes. And that's just the first of 19 risks explained in a new white paper entitled Don't Bank on It. You still think your bank deposits are safe? You better get this vital new Don't Bank on It white paper now. Call the number on the screen or visit SwissAmerica.com, the gold standard. Learn how simple it is to become your own banker today.
Millions of Americans with an ostomy live their lives to the fullest every day. And over the last 10 years, thousands have chosen Liberator Medical as their caring and reliable resource for ostomy supplies. Liberator Medical is a nationally accredited Medicare, Medicaid, and insurance provider, so we can handle all your Medicare, Medicaid, and insurance paperwork and billing. And Liberator Medical has been chosen as a preferred supplier by all the leading ostomy manufacturers, including Coloplast, Hollister, Convatec, and Generics. We supply all these leading ostomy brands, so you can always get the ostomy supplies and accessories you want and trust. And all of our ostomy care specialists are product certified by the manufacturers. Shipping is free and discreetly delivered right to your door. Unhappy with your present ostomy supplier? Call Liberator Medical and ask about our free ostomy sampling program. We also offer catheters and urological supplies.
Call 1-800-513-3076. That's 1-800-513-3076.
Do you know how many languages there are in the world? About 7,000. And Wycliffe Associates is working to translate the Bible into every single one of them. Modern technology is also making it easier. Now, areas that are so remote they aren't even on the map are being reached as well.
The mission is clear the moment you arrive at Wycliffe headquarters, delivering the gospel to every nation, every tribe, and every language.
A friend of mine says, well, I think that they need to hear from God in the language in which they sin.
Bruce Smith guides that mission. The Regent University graduate is president of Wycliffe Associates.
When they're pleading to God about their desperate situation, about their family, about their physical, economic, political, religious, about all those circumstances, they pray in their first language, they need to hear an answer from God in that same language.
Wycliffe Associates sits here on the corner of John Wycliffe Boulevard and Translation Way in Orlando, Florida. From here, in the last year, the organization has worked with some 3,000 volunteers in some 70 countries to speed up the process of translating the Bible. Many of those countries are quite difficult to reach.
The challenge we face today in the 21st century is that all the easy places are finished. All that's left are the difficult places.
One of the biggest challenges in those difficult places is reliable communication. It's a need that gave birth to what Bruce Smith calls the Bible Translation Acceleration Kit, or BTAC.
We found a whole pool of talent that had been just beyond the horizon for us, ready, willing, and able to be involved in helping to accelerate Bible translation, but not knowing how. So as soon as we started describing this opportunity, they just came flooding our direction. So I pretty quickly had a manpower team that was like a dream team.
That dream team's kit includes a solar panel that generates electricity to charge a battery that then runs a small laptop and internet modem, which connects to the internet by satellite. In just 3 years, the kits have served about 295 translation teams.
Some of the translation teams are telling us that just by having reliable communication, their translation pace has doubled. Okay, this is not because they've become faster translators. It's because all of the delays that were inherent in the system before, waiting for answers to questions, not knowing how to proceed forward, waiting to trade files and get responses back, those delays are now gone.
There is often celebration when the kits arrive in these remote places.
The first team I connected was Kibaku. Second team was Kamwe. Many of these places are not actually cities on a map. They're areas where semi-nomadic people take care of animals, have seasonal farms, these kinds of things. These are not cities of any kind of description at all. And so they may have telephone poles, but the poles have no wires on them.
Volunteers also find comfort in the connection.
So to have the capability, very simply, to connect that computer and communicate with people outside of their local area is a huge personal encouragement to them. Because these are the people that are risking their lives, in many cases, on the roads, unsafe conditions, in areas that are antagonistic to Christianity.
Back at Wycliffe Home Base, this work also helps to open a new door to missions work.
2006, the first baby boomers started turning 60. The last baby boomers don't turn 60 until 2024. So right now, we're in a unique provision, I feel, in terms of God's preparation in the lives of all of these Christians who can contribute to missions and can contribute to Bible translation in a way today that wasn't possible 20 years ago.
Peter Poloni is a retired engineer who helps to assemble the Bible translation kits. He and his wife have been volunteering at Wycliffe for the last 4 years.
It's a tremendous environment, and it gives you much deeper insight into what's going on around the world.
Like a growing number of retirees, Peter escapes the harsh winters back at home in Philadelphia and lends his skills to missions work in Orlando.
Coming back next year?
Lord willing, that all dependent on him, our health.
And it's beautiful, the faces of those people once they get the Bible translated into their own language. An added benefit, they're also going to be getting internet connection. They're working to make that kit work for them to connect to the outside world as well. Up next, the ultimate summer camp will show you some options to awaken faith and build character in today's teens.
Attention sleep apnea patients. Are you tired of the expense and hassle of getting your CPAP and BiPAP supplies? Are you fed up with dealing with ill-fitting, leaking, or worn-out masks and straps? Are you worried about the effects that unsanitary tubes, cushions, and filters have on your health? If you said yes to any of these questions, Allied Medical Supply Network has the solution to your problems. You could qualify to have your supplies regularly delivered right to your door at little or no cost to you. That's right, no more inconvenience, no worn-out masks and straps, no more unsanitary equipment, just restful sleep. Call Allied Medical Supply Network today to determine if you may qualify to receive your fresh, brand-name supplies at little or no cost. Don't delay. Call us now to see if you are eligible to save money on regular delivery of your CPAP and BiPAP supplies. Call 1-800-815-9947. That's 1-800-815-9947. Or go to cpapsupplyhelpline.com.
Announcing an important breakthrough in healthcare that can benefit everyone. If you or anyone you love needs affordable health insurance, regardless of a pre-existing medical condition, call Quick Insurance 123 today and get the immediate relief you deserve. Quick Insurance 123 was created to provide affordable health insurance to all uninsured Americans, with or without pre-existing conditions. This is not a discount card. This is a real insurance program that lets you choose from many affordable health plans, with access to doctors, hospitals, emergency services, and more. So call the number on your screen now and get the health coverage you need just for calling. As a special bonus, we'll send you a free prescription savings card that could save you up to 85% on your prescriptions. That's right, you could save up to 85% on your prescriptions just for calling. Call Quick Insurance 123 to find out how you can get affordable health insurance and receive your free prescription savings card just for calling. Don't wait. Getting a free quote is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call today.
Hello? Is this thing on? Hey, kids, do you love games? And do you love discovering things? Well, do ya?
Then you're gonna love this. It's the new free Superbook Kids Bible app. You can play games, watch videos, find answers to your questions, and a whole lot more. The new Superbook Kids Bible app. Free downloads available on iTunes and Google Play now.
There are more than 10,000 summer camps in America, everything from soccer camp to computer camp. So how do you find the one that is the right fit for your child? Angela Zatopek shows us where to look for the ultimate summer camp experience.
Summertime is finally here, which means it's time for many parents to plan summer options for their teenagers. As the season arrives, so does the sun, swimming, and camping in the great outdoors. Greg Hunter heads up the Christian Camp and Conference Association, which has helped set up and run camps since 1963.
So many Christian camps across the country. 850 of them are members of our association, but they come from all denominations, all sizes of camp, different kinds of amenities. Just about any kind of camp you can imagine, they're out there for parents and youth leaders looking for a place to go.
Campers also get to enjoy the outdoors, and kids today could use the exercise. According to one study, those from age 10 to 16 spend less than 13 minutes a day in physical activity, compared to 10 hours spent each day relatively motionless. Much of that is due to technology. Camp gets them out of their normal environment and allows them to focus on their faith without distractions.
This is the most stimulated generation in the history of Earth. And so when a kid can unplug from all that and go out into nature and get into temporary community, they can leave behind the things that put pressure on them, that kind of bind them up and keep them right where they are.
Triple R Ranch is one of the camps that the association helps serve, offering a variety of outdoor activities. I got to spend the day checking a few of them out.
We just have a lot of outdoor activities. We really focus on stuff we have the river with canoeing, the swimming, traditional type camp activities, but the zip lines, team building, we like to work with mission groups that want to get up there and get high on the zip line and try that out. Of course, horses are a big part of Triple R. We're a Western motif type of ranch here on the East Coast, but we're trying to just, again, get kids out of their comfort zone.
And after spending a day in the life of a camper, I could not pass up the vertical challenge to climb the rock wall. For parents or teenagers who are interested, the Camp Association just launched their Power of Camp campaign.
We have a website called thepowerofcamp.com, and there are 3 buttons to click, 3 actions they can take when they get there.
The first step finds a camp based on location and specific needs. The second button offers the option to donate money to the association, sending kids to camp on scholarship who may not be able to afford it. The third step offers campers to tell their story and about their experience at the camp.
I was one of those kids as well. My parents couldn't have afforded and wouldn't have sent me to a camp, but I got a scholarship from Mrs. Herman in my community just for weeding her flower bed. She sent me to camp, and that's where I met Christ. So the scholarship effort's really important to me.
With many options to choose from, faith-based summer camps can be an effective way to help young people awaken their faith, build character, and instill moral values. Angela Zatopek, CBN News.
And we'll be right back.
Attention sleep apnea patients. Are you tired of the expense and hassle of getting your CPAP and BiPAP supplies? Are you fed up with dealing with ill-fitting, leaking, or worn-out masks and straps? Are you worried about the effects that unsanitary tubes, cushions, and filters have on your health? If you said yes to any of these questions, Allied Medical Supply Network has the solution to your problems. You could qualify to have your supplies regularly delivered right to your door at little or no cost to you. That's right, no more inconvenience, no worn-out masks and straps, no more unsanitary equipment, just restful sleep. Call Allied Medical Supply Network today to determine if you may qualify to receive your fresh, brand-name supplies at little or no cost. Don't delay. Call us now to see if you are eligible to save money on regular delivery of your CPAP and BiPAP supplies. Call 1-800-815-9947. That's 1-800-815-9947. Or go to cpapsupplyhelpline.com.
Announcing an important breakthrough in healthcare that can benefit everyone. If you or anyone you love needs affordable health insurance, regardless of a pre-existing medical condition, call Quick Insurance 123 today and get the immediate relief you deserve. Quick Insurance 123 was created to provide affordable health insurance to all uninsured Americans, with or without pre-existing conditions. This is not a discount card. This is a real insurance program that lets you choose from many affordable health plans, with access to doctors, hospitals, emergency services, and more. So call the number on your screen now and get the health coverage you need just for calling. As a special bonus, we'll send you a free prescription savings card that could save you up to 85% on your prescriptions. That's right, you could save up to 85% on your prescriptions just for calling. Call Quick Insurance 123 to find out how you can get affordable health insurance and receive your free prescription savings card just for calling. Don't wait. Getting a free quote is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call today.
And finally today, Operation Blessing is changing the way people in developing nations carry water. Women and children in many places carry household water an average of 3.5 miles a day. Often it's carried balanced on their heads or in their arms. Operation Blessing is distributing Pack H2O water backpacks. The packs makes the trips less strenuous by distributing the weight of the water on their shoulders and backs. You can find out more about Operation Blessing simply by going to its website, ob.org. And that is going to do it for this hour of CBN News Today. You can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com. Be sure to take the time to tell us what you think about the stories you've seen here. You can do it on Facebook or at CBN News on Twitter. Hope you join us again right here next time. Make it a marvelous Monday, everybody.
Inside every child is a hero, a leader, a friend to others, someone who helps out, who does the right thing, who dreams of what they can be, but they still need our help.
What should I do? What should I say? How should I feel?
That's where Superbook comes in. It provides moral and spiritual truths through situations children can relate to, teaching God's Word to the children you love. Join the Superbook DVD Club and receive Superbook's newest episodes as they're available, plus 2 copies to share with others, all for your gift of only $25. Get Superbook today and watch the miracles happen.
Every day, people are connecting on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Now you can be part of the conversation and connect on topics you care about through 700 Club Interactive. Log on to Facebook, Twitter, or go to YouTube and share your opinions, your prayer requests, and your videos while making friends in our community.
Well, welcome to the show.
Join the conversation on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. 700 Club Interactive. Be a part of the show.